Hi there, Facebook friends. Excited to be with you. Hi, everybody on, hi, Rachel. Hi, Karen. Hi, Wes, Linda, everyone who's joining us in Agents of Awakening. And just welcoming in all of our Facebook friends as well. Hi, Marilyn. Oh, it seems like this is a popular topic. I wonder why. So today is day 4. So today is day 4 of our 5 days. And I know that all of these days have been really powerful. My personal favorite is the difference between feelings and emotional reactions. But I know that everyone, I got a lot of comments about yesterday, which is day 3. So I'd love to hear first and foremost, what has been your favorite day so far? What's the one that really hit you? Or maybe a concept that really got you? Just welcoming our friends on Facebook again. What of the 4 days so far has really struck you? Either a concept, an aha, something that's made a difference to you when you listened. I'd really, really love to see you guys. So that interests me in a big way. Lots of hellos in our different communities that we're live casting to. So as I said, the difference between feeling and emotional reactions, huge for me. It made a huge difference in my life. That was, I think, day 2. Not sure. I think it was day 2. And so we're on day 4. This is all about flow. It's all about making a new way of being your default, as opposed to just having ahas and breaking old beliefs, which is not really what we're interested in our work and doing. Although that is the result, but we get to transmute hundreds of beliefs at a time rather than doing one-offs. You understand what I'm saying? So where we live is in embodying an entirely new operating system that brings you to such a frequency that it transmutes hundreds of beliefs at a time. That's what the work is all about. So I'm just so happy to see so many people here today. So what's been your favorite so far? I'm just going to read a couple. Maduri says, moving forward rather than dwelling on the up-leveling, actually taking action, the concept of choice, that we are not about our karma, that karma doesn't dictate who we are. That's really about being willing to understand that karma is an operating system and that it is actually one possible way to live, but it's not the only possible way to live. So that operating system of living in a karma-based world whereby you're making up for the past and you have no choice, that doesn't make sense to me in a universe that loves us infinitely, that we have to be a victim of past. You can actually step out of that operating system into an operating system whereby you're creating moving forward rather than living a life that's always based in the past. Sylvia is saying, Sylvia, honey, thank you for saying that. The feeling that you had the original incident that gave you that, the glass ceiling idea, the idea of how we have glass ceilings to how much success we can have, that literally the feeling that if we're approaching what happened to us in the past, the feeling of what happened to us in the past that gave us PTSD, what happens is we start to become as happy as we used to be until that incident happened. And the instant you start approaching how good you felt or the way you felt then, that's when you'll come against the glass ceiling and you'll know that if you go any further, the chances might be that you could have something like that horrible event happen again. So what you'll do is you'll sabotage it, you'll pull the rug out from under yourself, you'll manifest something that stops you, and you create your own glass ceiling by just by unconscious patterns that sit in your brain. Absolutely. Wes says that I really have him pondering in a whole new way. I'm so glad, Wes. Yeah, yesterday for me was super powerful. Yes, Marianne, that you can actually inherit your parents' fear receptors. That was yesterday and the day before. It was so great. Brian says he's still integrating. Yeah, there was a lot. So just wanted to kind of like accumulate all of that. And I want you to start to think about your life and areas where you're most challenged to integrate with some of the things that we've talked about in these 4 days, in these 3 days so far. This is our 4th day. And tomorrow is a big Q&A day. So that's my favorite day because I get to look at all of your holograms. Now, you know me, usually holographic readings are $1,800. So to be able to work with all of you is just really exciting for me, just to let it rip instead of having it be a one-on-one. So I really want you to bring your deepest questions about consciousness, about your life, about some of these principles. Get the most out of the Q&A tomorrow. That is my suggestion. It starts again at 4:11. But let's leap to the subject for today. How do you live in fluidity, in flow as your default? What even is flow? So let me define flow. See if you have the same definition, because often when I define this, people go, ooh, I didn't even think of it that way. So flow in life for us around the Wide Awakening, flow is really not around because one of the issues that people have is we have this attachment that we think we need to get to this life where you're consistently happy, where you're always happy, everything, you got rainbows coming out your butt. But life isn't about that. Life is about actually living it, and people are going to die and things are going to happen and you're going to have great stuff too, and all sorts of fun is going to happen as well. And one of the things that's so crucial in our understanding of our lives is that we're creators, and built in to the operating system of life is contrast and problems, such that they can catalyze us to be able to get more creative and to think of ideas and to evolve ourselves. That's part of what it is to be a creator. And as a person who is alive to do that, which is basically everyone, if you're stuck in trying to fix the past perpetually because you perceive your brokenness, consciousness will not join you in that, because consciousness doesn't have a belief that you're broken. So the feeling of awfulness, as we talked about yesterday, is because your greater wisdom is not joining you in the judgment that you are broken. That's why you feel awful. So the very feeling of awfulness is the redirect to, hey, that isn't the path that you intended. Come back over here where we're creating upon creation towards the future, rather than telling consciousness and the laws of physics that we're interested in perpetually finding things to fix. So what is the definition of flow based on all of those facts? The definition of flow for us, anyways, is the idea that contrast is built into the fabric of life and part of the operating system. And how you get in flow is that you have the tools, the skills, and ultimately you've embodied the operating system. But at first you're just learning tools and skills. When you get enough experience, you'll start embodying that operating system, such that you're faced forward in life, and the time you spend in upset, judgment, and assessment that something's wrong just becomes 5 minutes, 3 minutes, an hour tops, as opposed to days, weeks, or months. If you can actually don the skills and understand the operating system and all of the systems that come with that, such that you can actually live in a way that you have a perception of contrast and problems and that structure and who you are in the greater context of consciousness itself. As you embody that, what happens is the resistance to the life that's calling you forward will end. And you will actually get to a place where you will celebrate problems. You will start to, I know, it sounds impossible. It sounds like that's crazy stuff. I tell this story. I would love to, I love sharing this story because it's just so true. Well, actually, I'm going to share a different one than I usually do. Because I remember, because I was just recently at the lake with my parents. They were there for the last couple of weeks, and I was going up to visit them in Canada. I'm in Asheville, North Carolina, and this is a place where something really profound happened to me, where I understood that I was really starting to cellularly permanently shift, but I was still in this shaky ground of uncertainty about my path forward and about my greater wisdom and about my greater knowing and about the clarity. Have you ever had that? So some of the things that can start to take you out are things like judgment of others, or your own pattern of self-judgment, or just the scariness of the world can take you out of your clarity or out of your forward momentum, right? Out of your flow. Reactions to what other people say, maybe the past, creating glass ceilings whereby you just freak out and sabotage yourself. It could be upset in people that you love and you want to carry them. Carrying is a great way to sabotage yourself, right? So I'm just mentioning some of these, and I would love for you to type in, which are the ways that you sabotage yourself the most? Is it past trauma actually just rearing its head and causing you to reach a glass ceiling and you just sabotaging yourself? Or is it people around you that are upset and you end up carrying them? Or is it that you have reactions to the world at large and you get really opinionated, and so you basically gaslight yourself by taking your attention off the ball of all the great stuff that you're up to? So I was having one of those, okay? So this is about 15 years ago. I was having one of those. I was at the lake. I had this client who we did lots of work together. She was having a great life. And then what happened is she started to get involved as almost like a kind of religious, culty kind of atmosphere. And she, listen, I've spoken at churches. This isn't about religions. You can say what you want. This isn't about our opinions about that. But she was taking it all like the truth. And she wasn't using her intuition or going direct with her consciousness at all. And after all this work, and she was having this great life, but then she started questioning it. She went and she started to Anna Mary, all of the above, as she says. So then she started judging me. And she started sending me these texts that were horrible. They were things like, Jennifer, you should really use your powers for good instead of evil. Like you were up to something that could really, she just was questioning everything. And she sent me this book. The book was about purpose and religion and all that kind of stuff. And I'm always open. I'm like, maybe I am doing something. Maybe I am way off kilter. Maybe my intuition is wrong. Oh my God, I'll have to throw out everything. These people that really throw you for a loop because they're so committed to their opinion. Ever had that? So anyways, so what happened was I was at the cottage. It was 6 o'clock in the morning because I couldn't sleep. I went out in my hammock and my dog was there at a big Bouvier. And the Bouvier was swinging in the hammock with me, and I was 100 pounds. And I decided to start reading this book to see if maybe I was nuts. And I started reading the book and I'm like, no, this doesn't resonate at all. This is not how creation loves us. I know creation to, give us that life, and the tools that I had started to use that are forming the upcoming Embodiment Workshop, all of those, I just knew. So I got in my canoe because I just had to clear my head. I got in my canoe. The dog was in the front. My dog barks at everything. That dog barked at everything. His name was Zach. And Zach was in the front of the canoe. And I said, consciousness, just show me. Show me that I'm on the right track. Validate that I'm in the flow. I got in the canoe, and as soon as I got in the canoe, an otter went across our bow. I'd never seen an otter in my life at the lake. The otter went across my bow. Dog didn't bark. So I'm like, oh, that's cool. Then I keep going, and to my right, there are 5 deer. I've never seen a deer in my life at the cottage. There were so many people. And then I'm going, that's weird. 5 deer bounding through the forest. Dog didn't bark. Kept going. Little snake went right in front of the canoe. Little snake went right in front of the canoe. Oh, that's odd. I don't know why. Hold on. Hold on, y'all. Oh, shit. Hold on, we just had a little glitchy poo. That's good, you can hear me, but now you can't see me. And it's all good. Hopefully hearing it will be good. So anyway, so then I kept going in the canoe, and there were turtles on a log right beside our canoe because we were going through this pond at this point. And my dog doesn't say anything, and they kind of scramble into the water. The dog says nothing. And I'm telling you, this is like Barky McBark dog, just so you know. So then what happens is that I keep going, and all of a sudden, what happens is there is this incredible, big, huge heron that swoops across the front of the canoe. And I'm like, holy crap. And my dog barks at all the herons. He chases them. He barks at all the herons. He did not bark. And I thought, okay, this is miraculous. I don't know what is going on here. Oh, and I started to get that this was my validation, right? This was what I was getting. So then what happens is, not only that, but I get to this little island, and maybe it's like, I don't know, 50 yards in front of me. And I look at the island, I don't think much of it. In fact, I've gone by that island a million times. It's not that big. It's just like maybe a, I don't know, 30 by 30 island or 40 by 40 island, right? Big rock island. It's called Stony Lake. And all of a sudden, I look at it and I'm like, something is happening here. And then the heron comes back and swoops in front of my canoe again. And finally the dog barks. But when the dog barks for the first time on this, I don't know, probably at this point, half-hour canoe ride. So all this is happening in half an hour. All of a sudden, thousands of turtles on this island go, and I can hear them all, and I'm watching them all go into the water. Thousands of them. Well, maybe hundreds of them. Well, it could have been thousands of them. I don't know, but it sounded like thousands of them. And they were covering the island. They all went into the water. And I just smiled and I thought, yeah, I think I got my validation that I'm on the right track. And from then on, I knew how important knowing my alignment was. That in fact, having people take me out, having situations take me out, having others' judgments take me out, having carrying the weight of the world take me out, having even carrying my clients take me out. You know, it had to stop. The more I could remain in my connection to my greater knowing, more powerful my experience of life became, and the more fluidity and flow. And at this point, I would say my average amount of time to stay in upset, even on the most serious things, is less than a few hours. Something actually happened last night that normally would take me out. But you see, there's a tool that actually will have these at the Embodiment Workshop called evidence journals. We're actually making evidence journals. One of the ways to embody the idea that consciousness is working for you, the first step, which is, takes a few steps to get to that state of truly, like really feeling like you are connected and nothing can take you out. The first step is to collect enough evidence for how supported you are, because the ego gets in the way and it explains things away, and it justifies that something didn't happen when it did. So putting it in writing is hugely important at first, but that is not the end game. It's about 4 steps away, 5 steps away from embodiment, which means you just know, cellularly know. You wake up knowing. You are in your knowing in every moment, which on many subjects, that's where I live, and I feel incredibly blessed. On those subjects, maybe 5 minutes, I'm an upset. But then I'm so well trained at this point that I get excited when there's a problem. Because when you understand the skills to be able to align with the solutions, and you have so much evidence that you're good at it, and those skills become second nature, who would want to spend a lot of time in being self-righteously making the situation wrong, or the people wrong, or the whatever it is wrong, your skills wrong? Because the laws of physics say that more quickly you can get to the place where you're actually aligning with the frequency of the answers, the more fluid your life gets. But step 1, not step 5, is that evidence journal. So one of my recommendations from today is, if you've had an evidence journal that everything is happening for you, great. Go back to it and start collecting evidence. So the second piece, which is probably step number 3 in the 6 steps of embodying, i.e. making it your default. This is not going to make it your default, but it's going to start to give you the experience, right, of making this level of flow your default. That one is taking the future that you will allow yourself to imagine. And it's not about specifics. I've given this homework before. It's not about getting specific. This is not a vision board. I'm not talking about setting goals and you get really specific. I'm actually talking about inventing futures that feel really great and talking about them every day in the now to yourself, such that you can actually generate the frequency of the possibility of that happening in your cells. You're actually shifting your biology. And as you shift your biology, the frequencies, the biophotons that come out of your 75 trillion cells go out into consciousness and say, this is what I'm interested in. But if you don't do that, and it's not that you're interested in the specifics, and I'll give you an example. So this morning, part of my future in the now was, I know this is homework from yesterday, but it's so important. I can't even tell you. You can't get to embodiment unless you can actually generate. It's just so, so, so important. You got to be able to generate a different future and have that future be activated cellularly so that your biochemistry starts to align with the future, rather than you being in protection and safety and trying to prevent the past from happening again. If you're in prevention of the past happening again, what you literally are doing is recreating the same biology and emanating the same biophotons, and you become magnetic to the exact same thing that you lived before. So here's one of mine this morning. One of mine this morning sounded like this. I am so grateful. So you pretend you're already at the end of the day, and you put yourself in your imagination at the end of the day, and you talk about the day ahead of you as though it's already happened. And you invent a movie of your day. It could be completely outrageous. The only rule about this is that you talk about it as if it's already happened, A, and that B, you actually are able to imagine and generate within your body the biochemistry. In other words, you can get the feeling of that future. Right? For those of you on Agents of Awakening, the video is not coming back on. So, and that's okay. Hopefully you guys can hear me. So it sounded something like this. I am so grateful for the the ability to actually go direct with my greater wisdom today, I felt like nothing pulled on me. I actually was in such presence that I got messages that I have never gotten before, and deep, deep insights that I reveled in. I actually spend some time to celebrate today some of the insights that I had and the ideas that I got to generate some energy around the things that I love, around some projects I'm working on. So I'm actually talking about it and I'm actually feeling as though, that, right? Like I'm completely making up stuff. So sometimes I make up specific things that are possible but not likely today, but I just love imagining them because they generate such a high frequency biochemistry that I become magnetic to other things that I wouldn't have expected. It's so good. So, you guys, there are 2 of the 6 steps to live in total flow. One of the things that I've said this in the other days too, I really recommend if you haven't listened to all of them that you do. One of the things that's really important to me is that we understand that perpetually trying to get rid of the triggers or the things that cause the glass ceilings, flourishing forward is not about fixing backwards. You can't fix backwards and flourish forwards. However, when you flourish forward, who you have to become to have that future will bring up stuff, most of which from your higher frequency will be transmuted, but there'll be some stuff that you need to look at. This is not spiritual bypassing, but it is an exponentially faster way. Embodiment, that's what I'm saying, our form of thriving embodiment. Thriving embodiment, doing the work of thriving embodiment, which is a body of work that we teach in the Embodiment Workshop that's coming up on September 7th, 8th, and 9th. That particular experience together, not only will we do all 6 steps, we will also give them to you so that you can use them as consciousness shifts and as world shifts. You'll be able to change with the changes. True fluidity is when you can embody the ability to embody the changes in society such that literally everything makes you excited rather than takes you out. I'd love to hear about the subjects that most take you out. What are the subjects that most take you out? Is it love? Is it money? Is it how the world is? What are the ones that really get you, that make your eye twitch? Brian says money. What is it for you, you guys? What actually gets you? What do you know triggers you? Linda, the fires in Kelowna, sending you so many hugs. Can we just light, lots of light to Maui and Kelowna and Alaska, and there's so many places right now just having a really hard time. And it's real, right, Linda? Some of you, the air quality is taking you out right now. Jenny, stressful clients, lack of connection with culture, with your peeps. Trudy? Yeah. Carrying the expectations of others, Midori. I got it. Right? Wes, world nonsense. Linda, oh my gosh, you evacuated. Can we all just give a hug to Linda? She's in an area where there's fires. And Johanna, I get it. People taking advantage of power. Totally get it. What I could turn that around, Johanna, and I could say something like, so what bothered me for a long time, which was the problem that led to the Embodiment Workshop, is people giving their power away and not being able to use their instincts and their intuition, because I can't change the people that are manipulating others, but I can help others to be so in their sovereignty and in their knowing that they can literally be free to flourish forward without being influenced by anything or anyone. And I don't care which side of the aisle anyone's on. We don't want to respond to any of that, right? So you're getting lots of love, Linda. So the Embodiment Workshop is coming up September 7th, 8th, and 9th. I hope today has given you some ideas about what that workshop is about. I also hope that even if we don't see you in it, which I really hope we do, because embodiment is an experiential workshop whereby it permanently changes you. Your default level of being in flow, and we're doing a whole day on becoming a master at receiving this time. So, and receiving clarity, but also receiving all things desired. It's going to be so great. So, and Nika, you're right, it is amazing. I agree. I get amazed every time. So for those of you in Agents of Awakening, you guys know how to register. It is half price for you guys because you're in Agents of Awakening. For those of you on Facebook, if you're interested in doing the Embodiment Workshop at half price, you can join Agents of Awakening for free for a month and be able to come to the Embodiment Workshop at half price too. You just have to go to agentsofawakening.com and just join, and you'll have the link. You can register. So, but if you don't want to do that and you want to pay full price, okay. It's thewideawakening.com/embodiment. Okay. You can check it out there and see what it's all about. It's a very small group of people. When I say very small, I mean like 75 people or less. So everyone gets particular attention from me, and I love reading holograms in that program because people are in their most open state, and we can move worlds, especially if you're going through great change right now or you're contemplating a change. This particular one is called Bringing Dreams to Reality. So if you don't know what your dream is, or you have a dream and it's like frustrating you, this is an amazing one to come to, because we are going to be looking at that. So holographic readings, that's what we're doing tomorrow. So make sure tomorrow on lives at 4:11 Eastern time, be there or be a rectangle. Okay, and we're going to stick around a little longer with people in Agents of Awakening, even though they can't see me today, because that's what we do in Agents of Awakening. We have discussions around what we talked about, and there's a whole community of unicorn badass creators there. So again, if you're on Facebook and you'd like to join free for a month, please come and play agentsofawakening.com, and then you'll get the Embodiment Workshop at half price. Come on. So, okay, you guys, I am going to say goodbye to my Facebook friends. Bye, you guys. Love you. Love you, love you, love you. Bye.